60s child.
1966, what a fabulous year that was. London was swinging. We beat Germany in the World Cup final at Wembley. The Fab Four released their 7th album, Revolver. Concorde was in the planning stage. The Harrier jump jet took flight. The Cortina went on sale. Hovercrafts were crossing the channel. Kids TV was the best ever with Tarzan, Batman, and the first ever showing of Camberwick Green, and the Monkeys. Doctor Who was on the 10th planet, and we were introduced to the Cybermen for the first time. Also a first, we got to see the Doctor regenerate, from William Hartnell to Patrick Troughton. The fabulous Daktari appeared on telly. Thunderbirds was in its 2nd series, and it was our first time meeting Little Joe. And this show appeared for the first time with an unforgettable soundtrack. And Harry Worth was doing this on TV for the first time. Now that was an amazing year, you've got to admit, but it wasn't over, because in 1966, in this very factory, in fact in this very building, the best boys' toy ever, in my opinion, hit the shops.
Action Man is here.
A 12-inch high doll for boys, but there was nothing girly about this fella. He was tough, and he even had a scar to prove it. He came in 3 versions: Army Man, Naval version, and a pilot. Now credit where credit's due. This idea was originally thought of in America. Way back in 1963, an inventor came up with the idea and then sold the licensing to the Hasbro company, who thought it was a very good idea. The only problem was, no parents were going to buy at that time dolls for boys, so they came up with the idea of calling it an action figure. And G.I. Joe was born. Originally, G.I. Joe came in 3 figures: Army, Navy, and a pilot. Forward to 1966, and this side of the Atlantic, Palitoy were given the opportunity to produce the action figure, and Action Man was born. So what did you get in the box? You got your action figure. This was an amazing toy. It had points of articulation that no other doll, I think, at the time had seen. He could move in so many different ways and be positioned in so many different stances. It was a boy's dream. And the quality of these figures, the plastic was so thick and well made. The fact that they're still around today says how well made they were. You got your official equipment manual that showed you all the bits and bobs you could buy for him. You got your Army manual, which basically was an instruction manual, but it was full of all useful stuff and exciting stuff for boys. Also got this little postcard sized star chart. The stars came with any equipment you bought, so you cut the stars out, glued them on, and when you had enough you could send them off and get yourself some goodies. So for 10 stars you got Brutus, Action Man's dog. For 18 stars you could get the Mounties outfit, and for 21 stars you got an undressed Action Man. As the years rolled on by, more and more costumes and action figures were produced. Take a look at this lot. In 1968 we heard Action Man speak for the first time. Just pulled a dog tag on the commander's chest and he gave one of these 8 commands in a very croaky, crackly voice. In 1970 Action Man sprouted hair. Well, it was a type of flocking, but it looked quite good as a crew cut. It came in several colours and some even had beards. 1973 Action Man got new hands. At a 1971 toy fair, Bill Pugh, a director of design, was trying to show off Action Man but found it very difficult to use his hard hands to hold very much. A process manager suggested a new thermoplastic called Kraton. This could be stretched but always return to its original shape. The result was amazing. Action Man could now hold on to things quite tightly. However, there was a problem. The earlier versions, after some time, the hands would go orange and harden and then brittle, and pretty soon Action Man would lose all his fingers. Anyway, after a while, better formulas found and all was well. 1976, Action Man was given eagle eyes. A small lever on the back of his head made his eyes move left and right.
Action Man
and his transport command. Tough, realistic models specially designed for Action Man. They're all action. Just look for the Action Man Transport Command badge. It tells you they're the real thing. You can send off for a free workshop accessories kit by collecting the stars with every pack.
Action Man
Transport Command. Only from Palitoy.
One of the reasons for that ad was basically to stop these people, Shelley Toys, because they brought a range out of vehicles for Action Man, or 12-inch figures as they said, and some say they were better quality and more detailed than the actual Palitoy ones. They were certainly very good. There was also a lot of cheap knockoff Action Men, made in Hong Kong mostly, and very poor quality. Action Man was certainly never short of equipment and vehicles, but you could only buy what you could afford. And sadly, I never owned any of the vehicles as a kid, just the action figure.
As storm clouds gather over Mrs. Rogers' garden, the Action Man gang assemble for the big parade. It's an impressive display of military muscle. And speaking of muscle, just look at Action Man's new fully posable physique. It's chest out and eyes right as the top brass take the salute. They know that whatever the task, Action Man with his dynamic new physique is ready for action.
They tried other things like a new dynamic body, but to be honest, I think Action Man's best period was over. The release of Star Wars in 1977 changed everything for Action Man. Action Man production was dropped in favour of these tiny, less than 4-inch figures, less plastic, less work, and they were selling like hotcakes. There were a few attempts to keep the Action Man brand alive with these kind of figures, but sadly the era was over. Hasbro did relaunch Action Man in early 90s, but it was nothing like the Action Man we knew. The head was different, the body was different, and he was less articulated. In 1996, a 30th anniversary limited edition was released. In 2006, the 40th anniversary of Action Man, Modellers Loft in Britain released a huge range of very good replicas. And for the 50th anniversary, there was a range of dolls brought out aimed at children. Although they looked the part, the arms were quite short for some reason. The 50th anniversary also brought these figures, and a good range of figures as well, and well made. So if you're interested, they're still out there being sold. Grab yourself one. Well, we're nearly at the end of our little video. I hope you enjoyed the look back at our little mate Action Man. If you owned an Action Man or played with an Action Man in the 60s and 70s, then you'll know how good this toy was, and you'll probably have fond memories of playing with the toy. Let me know of your memories in the comments. Also, if you want more info about Action Man, check out the 2 links I've left in the description. The last part of this video is a look at all the equipment and stuff you could buy for Action Man. Enjoy, and I'll see you later.
Action Man is here. Action Man is here. On land, at sea, and in the air. In action everywhere.